What's going on today, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of pre-built short blocks and long blocks versus the DIY short blocks and long blocks. And I'm put some thought into this, and I've actually been researching it myself because I'm getting to the point now to where I'd like to take the STI to the next level. And I've always wanted to do it. I've always wanted to have a built engine. It's just something I've wanted to do since I've had Subarus. And it's just my end goal. Right now the car is the E85 20G, does well for what it is, fairly reliable for what it is, but I got that power itch and like to scratch it one of these days, so I've been really researching it. So just jumping right into it, some of the companies that I'm going to be talking about are the ones that are closest to me and my reference points, and that is IAG, of course, being here on the East Coast. IAG and Turn-In Concepts in Ohio. One of the big pros for a pre-built, especially those two, is the fact that they do come with a warranty. And they come with a warranty. The IAG is through a certified installer. You get the 2-year, 24,000 mile warranty, 12,000 miles a year. And with Turn-In Concepts, you get a 1-year, 12,000 mile warranty. Now with Turn-In Concepts, I don't know if they have certified installers so much, but if you take the car to them, they do everything kind of in-house. So if you have it installed there in Cincinnati, then you get the 1-year warranty. Now with the IAG warranty, one thing that I did find out is that if you buy something like on the Black Friday sales that they run, you buy it like say in December or November, in November, whatever, you buy it and you don't get it installed until June, well, your warranty starts when you buy it. It's kind of like you lose 6 months of it if you buy it, a half a year early. So always keep that in mind, that if you did that, saving some bucks, you lose 6 months of your warranty if you haven't installed that summer at a certified installer. So with IAG, it's always best to probably just buy it through the person who's going to install it if you're wanting to keep that full warranty. One of the other big pros to doing a pre-built setup and having someone install it, the fact that it doesn't tie up your garage space or whatever space you may or may not have in your garage to work on stuff. So it's always better to have it at the shop, and professionals are working on it to make it what it's going to be, and it keeps your clutter down or whatever, out of your garage, and you can have other projects going on that may or may not be as intensive. Another pro that I've considered while doing all this is the fact on a pre-built, everything is measured, precise. They double check everything. Everything's together as precision as it can be, so that you're getting a quality end product. And with them offering their warranties, obviously they stand behind it, so the end product being as quality as it is, it's just a peace of mind that you can have when you do buy these pre-built assemblies. So just talking about some of the pros on the DIY side of things, in my opinion, one of the biggest pros to the DIY is that you can take your time with it and do all the measuring and all the accoutrement of parts and stuff like that, and really kind of make it your own. And at the end of the day, when all of it kind of comes together, the biggest pro of it is that when it comes together and you hit the key and it starts for the first time, then it's a more of a pride thing, and you build it yourself, and it actually something that works. You built it how you wanted it to be, and like I say, when it all comes together, it's just probably one of the best feelings that you can have. I know when you rebuild dirt bike engines and stuff like that, when it fires up for the first time, it is a good feeling to know that you did all that yourself, all the measuring, all the parts installed, and it's an actual living, running thing. It's just really cool, and I think that is one of the biggest pros to doing it in your own garage. The other major pro to a DIY setup versus a pre-built is just kind of like I said earlier, alluded to, was making it your own. The parts that comes in the pre-built may or may not be what you want to use, especially if you buy a long block. You can buy an IAG long block that's set up for certain things, but if you really need custom heads and all that, you want to run something completely different, the customization of doing it yourself is far greater than obviously buying a pre-built that's set up for a certain specification. So if you're looking for a certain type of engine or power delivery or something like that, then obviously the DIY route is very customizable, so you build it exactly how you want it to be. So that is a definite pro on that regard. Another pro of a DIY build is the fact that it could cost you less money. Now, exactly how much it could cost you less, I haven't ran those numbers yet, but let's just say somewhere you could probably do it for $1,500, $2,500 cheaper, depending upon where you source parts. It's really dependent upon what you decide to build your engine with, I think would be the biggest cost factor into how much money you could save over potentially buying a pre-built. So that's just, like I say, it's just something to always keep in the back of your mind. It could save you money to DIY it over a pre-built. All right, now talking about some of the cons of a pre-built. The biggest con that I can think of kind of stems off of that customization of the DIY is that these are pre-built to a spec, and that's what you get. So as far as customizing them go, there is some customization available, but again, you're going to pay for that customization if you want them to do it for a pre-built, because it steps outside of the pre-built package that they have for you. So you would incur a slight higher cost to get the customization, whereas it could have saved you a little bit of money on the DIY side. So that's just always something to keep in mind. Another con to a pre-built is the fact that if you do want the warranty, then a certified installer, you're going to pay more on the labor side of things to get it installed. So just tack on at least a couple grand, $2,500, $3,000, whatever, for the install, of which that install gets you the warranty, $3,000 that you could have put towards something else on the DIY side of things in your build. Do you want to go that route and spend that kind of money, or do you not? And these are all things that I've kind of ran through my head, so I'm just trying to get a general opinion and get some thoughts out there, see what everybody else is thinking. As far as cons go on the pre-builts, that's really about the only two that I can think of at the moment, and they're not really big ones, but they are cons and something to consider. Some of the cons with the DIY setup. With the DIY, there's always human error and everything, and there's also human error in the pre-builts. It's just kind of, the pre-builts are supposed to be more precise versus me or whoever measuring. As far as like doing the DIY, a con for me would be I'd always be second guessing myself in my garage with measuring, you know, measure twice, cut once. I'm a fan of that, but even that still is that my ability to do that and then put it all together, sometimes I would just always be second guessing myself. The con of doing that is that once it comes all together, it could just blow up in my face. Whereas if I'd have done it the other way, it would have been, you know, not my error type of deal and covered under a warranty. Another con for a DIY is the fact that if you have a family and you work a lot and all the time that you'd have to put into building the engine, if your car was down and you needed something quick, obviously that's not the best route to go, because unless you can sling time and effort at it right off the bat and spend all that time working on it, it's probably gonna be down for a while. And you know, I know that I've got 2 kids and work 50, 60 hours a week, and when I have the weekends off, I would rather not look at anything that pertains to work, but that's just me. So it's really a labor of love at that point, and if you really want to do it, that's what I say, rebuilding bike engines and stuff, you know, once you do so many of them, you can knock it out in X amount of time, but it's still time invested, and do you have that time to do it and space to do it? Space is a big one also. So anyway, that's my, you know, pros and cons for the pre-built versus a DIY setup. And so I say, it's just something I've been considering here lately and thinking about, and just thought I'd throw it out there and see what anybody else had to say. If you've got some pros and cons, obviously, that I didn't mention, please list them down in the comments below. It's always something to consider. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. We'll catch you in the next.